before I went into sales, I was a caregiver. So I was a CNA and I was a med tech. And I've been talking about hospice lately, and so I want to kind of gravitate back to that. And one of the delays in getting someone on hospice services in an appropriate amount of time is that decision. Like the education, again, I go back to education. It scares people. And so, you have to be able to educate properly in order to get that early intervention. Why is early intervention so important? Hospice isn't just about the patient, it's about the patient and the family. And when you get that early intervention while the patient is still competent, they still know what they want, they still know what's going on, they're able to voice the way that they want things done, their preference in things, services, care, what they like, what they don't like. They're also going to tell their caregivers some things that they will probably never leave this earth telling their loved ones or their friends. I know, I can attest to that. And so that early intervention allows you to also get to know the family dynamics, the estranged loved ones, the friends that haven't been around in 30 years, and how the patient really feels about those situations. And you would be amazed what early intervention can do in an end-of-life situation. I have held people in my arms as I went to place their shirt over their head and felt them draw in their last breath, and knew this patient. I knew the good days, the bad days, the things they liked, the things they didn't like, the people they didn't really care for, how they felt emotionally at the time, how they felt about the situation. I have worked in hospice units where I did get to know some of my patients, but not all, because the stay in an inpatient hospice unit is 15 days or less. That means they're imminent. Sometimes it's just for crisis management, and we can talk about that in another video, and they don't stay long. They actually come in, get their management, and they leave. But for those that do stay, I can tell you, while there were many emotional times during my service in hospice, one of the many things that will always stick with me were my nights in the inpatient unit. And the unit that I worked in had 12 beds. There were some nights when I left the following morning that, I knew that some of these patients would probably still be there when I came back. But then there were so many that wouldn't. And then there were some that on my shift, I would end up being the one that cleaned them up, closed their eyes, placed them in the body bag to get ready for the funeral home to come pick them up. Knowing those patients, not only was I allowed, and it gave me the opportunity to take care of them the way that they wanted to be taken care of, but it allowed me to guide others all the way up to how they carried them out of the unit. As people in the hospice industry, we've got to get better, whether you're under palliative or hospice, at providing proper education to where it doesn't scare people so much. Misinformation is what will keep them from making that decision that's going to help with that early intervention and have them taken care of the way that they deserve to be taken care of, and preserve that dignity and not do things that they don't like to do. And then I think maybe your patients, some of them, not all, will be a little more receptive in opening up to that education. It's all about the education, folks. Makes us better caregivers, makes us better people. And we can service our patients and families a lot better. You have a good day.